Hey, welcome once again to Rockin Comics. I'm Zack, and as you can see, I'm flying solo today. Aimee is out, and earlier today, I did have Colby in from Gmart Comics. He helped me out with the podcast, but feeling a little under the weather, so he's not in the video. But that's fine. I appreciate him stopping by. And if you want to check out the podcast, and you're going to want to, because we have a ton of books we talk about in the podcast this week at rockincomics.com. But today, for just a video, you just got me, the Rockin Comic of the Week, and my archives. So let's get to it. Colby and I went through a lot of books in the podcast, and we kind of agreed that not one, but two books should get the title of Rockin Comic this week. What are they? First up, Avengers, number 24. This one is the conclusion to the Norman Osborn getting all kinds of superpowers, going back up against the Avengers, the whole Norman Osborn Phase 2. And it's such a satisfying conclusion. And of course, you've got the art from Acuna, the writing from Bendis, and basically what we find out is, I'm spoiling if you haven't read it, Osborn's superpowered because he's got super adaptoid capabilities. So, Red Hulk punches him, Purple Hulk he turns into. It's a big throwdown, it's crazy, and you finally get the conclusion, and it's a very satisfying conclusion. Plus, it sets up Hydra as the next big bad for a while for the Avengers. So just well done. Once again, the art by Acuna is really good, the story by Bendis, and you got tons and tons of action. My only downside to the new Avengers is they did not release, to this Avengers I should say, is they didn't release the new Avengers title, which they had been releasing on the same day, and it has some impact on what's going on in Avengers. So I'm a little disappointed in the release date of New Avengers, but Avengers number 24, one of your Rockin Comics of the week. The second Rockin Comic of the week is a brand new book called Saga. This is chapter 1. It's by Brian K. Vaughan, and it's amazing. The art is by Fiona Staples. Her art is just gorgeous. It's stunning, and it's a bizarre little story. It mixes sci-fi and fantasy really well. You've got two people that are on the opposite sides of a war. They fall in love, have a baby, and people don't want that. And so they're being chased. You also have TV-headed androids having sex in the book. It's crazy. It's really good. The art is phenomenal. The story is just amazing. And you get a lot of pages in this book. So, Saga, Chapter 1. It's our second Rockin Comic of the Week. Now, normally I would say, hey, Aimee, what's your awesome? She's not here. No awesome. But if you want to hear some awesome stuff, check out the podcast, rockincomics.com. Colby actually has some awesome in there for you. So now we're just going to wrap up with the archives. Now this is, once again, a book that I dug into my archives, books that I still have from when I was a kid that I didn't sell when I was in high school. This is Dynamic Classics number 1. Boom! It's from 1978, and this is the only issue of Dynamic Classics that DC put out. It was going to be a reprint volume book. Shortly after this came out, DC kind of imploded on itself in the 70s. This came out in 78. Now the two stories in here, Batman, Secret of the Waiting Graves is the first one, and it has awesome art by Neil Adams. It's just a crazy wackadoo late 60s. It was originally published in Detective Comics from 1970, I want to say. Just a weird story about these two rich Mexican couple that they're named Muerto. Should tell you something. And Batman's involvement in it and their diabolical plot and scheme. Just a crazy wackadoo story with great art by Neil Adams, and I really liked it. But one of the reasons I even like this book even more is the backup story with Manhunter in it. I don't know if you can see the little Manhunter guy. That was also reprinted from a Detective Comics from 1973. And Manhunter, basically, this was his first appearance, well, the reprint of his first appearance in the DCU under this guise, and he's cool. He's basically, he's a badass. He can bring it. He can fight. He takes out these punks, the Thieves Guild. He takes everybody out, and it's just a neat introduction. So, from the archives, something that really makes me feel good about comic books: Dynamic Classics number 1, plus 50 cents, 44 pages. Pretty fantastic. And that's it. That's all I've got this week. Hopefully, I'll have a partner next week. I don't know if Aimee will be here. Maybe I can get Tim to come back in. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Colby will feel up to sitting in. Otherwise, until next time, check out the podcast at rockincomics.com and then see why I need the help. Until next time, I'll see you. Bye.